Although I think Oscar Graybill, the gentleman who presented in the first video of this post, provides a great overview of Socratic seminars, I think he misses some of the nuances between the purpose and practice of Socratic seminars, or dialogues, and text-based discussions. Let's start with what we know about text-based discussions to help us contrast the two. Text-based discussions engage students in a critical analysis of one or more texts, making meaning of essential points, often through coherence analysis, and making meaning from the text in order to produce an understanding themselves. So text-based discussions are really specifically ground in a discipline. When we talked about text-based discussions in the last video, we really talked about genre analysis and the different types of genres that certain disciplines really engage in to make meaning for themselves and within their discipline. Text-based discussions also rely on students' experiences as one text, of one of many texts. So student experiences equal one of many texts here. In a text-based discussion, that student, that individual, is constantly referring back to the text or multiple texts. And of course, whenever we're going to do a qualitative analysis of something, there's a connection between the individual doing the analysis and the analysis itself, and the text itself, and the subject itself. But the student's experience is one of many texts when we're really trying to figure out what a text, whether it be written, spoken, visual, or performance-based, really has to say. Finally, the questions that drive text-based discussion arise from the texts themselves. So questions arise from text. So really what we're saying here is that we're going to focus on the why questions and the what questions. Why did a historical figure do what he or she did? What did that literary character mean when they said X, Y, or Z? Socratic seminars are a bit different. Instead of discussions being grounded in a specific discipline, Socratic dialogues often draw on multiple disciplines or multidisciplinary understandings of an issue. These multidisciplinary understandings often arise from the purpose of the discussion, to come to an understanding of a personal or societal issue. Rarely can any issues in this world be neatly fit into one of our disciplines. Socratic dialogue forces students to use a wide range of knowledge as part of the conversation. As such, experience is a primary text. Certainly, along with other texts. It's interesting to note here that experience holds a really specific, almost augmented place in the Socratic seminar, because it's from our experiences that we start learning and making meaning for ourselves and between ourselves. Indeed, since Socratic seminars don't have to use the whole class, the teacher, or quite frankly, maybe even the students, choose how many experiential texts or personal experiences are needed for any one discussion. Finally, the questions in a Socratic seminar look a little different from a text-based discussion. Rather than why and what questions arising from a text, Socratic seminars often focus on should questions. helping them to be just a little bit more issues-based rather than text-based. Obviously, there are a number of places where these two methods overlap. They both begin with the text. And as Oscar Graybill mentioned, usually the text, even a Socratic seminar, is one of those written, spoken, visual, or performance-based texts. Both ask students to refer to texts. To be clear, just because experience is a primary text within the Socratic seminar doesn't mean that this is all about feelings. Really, we're trying to, in a Socratic seminar, we're matching what our experiences are with what is being said and what meaning is made within the text to draw a richer, better understanding of the issue or the topic rather than just having a counseling session. Both text-based discussions in Socratic seminars are obviously conversation-based. And they also both assume that the learner has something to bring to the table. Maybe that's why these two methods, even though they are different, in their conversation-based assumptions, really draw on this constructivist idea that it is the learner making the meaning, whether they're dealing primarily with just text or this much more integrated text experience relationship. And finally, both methods ask students to make claims and counterclaims. However, as we see here, there are differing purposes and techniques for using text-based discussions at Socratic seminars. Neither is better than the other, but we need to be conscious about when we want to really use each.